Okay, welcome back to a different video here. This is going to be something a wee bit unusual from what we normally do. I've had a couple of options of getting a couple of vehicles, car and a couple of motorbikes. And what I'm going to do is actually try and do a bit of dealing with them. So I'm going to try and part exchange, swap or sell the vehicles that I've got and try and double or triple the value of them each time if possible. And that's only if I'm lucky enough with buying the things at the right money. A couple of them are from friends, so they're just basically want rid of them. So yeah, gonna look at a couple of vehicles. First vehicle I'm going to show you now. I've actually um, I actually have somebody for it, and I only have pictures of it. So what basically happened was it was through my friend who has the insurance repair business, and he doesn't really deal with motorcycles. And this motorcycle was in an accident and basically rode off. Which makes it a category B breaker, which means it can't go back on the road. Now the bike was still sort of complete, so he had said to me, had I any use or could I do anything with it or can I get it for parts? So I'm going to show you pictures of that now, and you can have a look and you can see the damage that was on the bike. Yeah, so as you can see that it was damaged, the front end, and I advertised it and had a few people interested in it for parts. The engine in particular was of value, so that'll be the first. That guy's actually coming tonight to see if he's going to take it. The bike then will have to be crushed, so the engine and parts can be taken off it, but the frame itself has to be crushed. So that's one of the conditions of a category B, same with cars and bikes. So we'll see how that goes later on, and I'll update you. And then we're also going to take a look at another couple of projects, one here and then one which is a car, which is somewhere else. So I'll cut to that and we'll have a wee look around that together. So moving on to project number 2 is in here with lots of other stuff. We have a Beta 300 Xtrainer. So this is slightly older, slightly different than my own bike. I'll get it in here in a wee second. And as you might see, you can probably pick up on why this is a project. The engine is currently out of it. So my friend using this, and I'm going to actually show you my bike, which is here and a bit dirty. So on these bikes, I've did a video before, we put these plastic covers on. This protects the clutch and on the other side protects the generator for the bike, or the alternator if you like. So to fit these, you just take the bolts off the clutch cover. Now in here is also oil, so you take these covers off, take these bolts out one at a time, you swap the cover on and you put it on. So what's happened with him or somebody, they actually snapped this bolt in the engine block. These are quite long, they're different lengths each one, and it was buried in there, and because of where it is on the engine, there's a potential for the engine not to seal. So yes, my friend then decided he was going to take the engine out of the bike and try to get the bolt unstuck, and basically just got it that far and then stopped. So I'll get the bike out and we'll have a wee look around it just to see the differences. So like I said, Beta 300 Xtrainer. So this is a few differences between this and mine. Mine's a racing edition, so suspension's different, bike's a wee bit lighter. The engine's actually detuned a wee bit. I have KYB suspension, and yeah, this is more like an entry level, although still very capable. To be honest, you can still do the same things on both bikes. But this changed hands a couple of times. So this was one friend owned it and then sold it to the next, and then they've both upgraded. And this bike then, say, sat about for a bit, and then just a bit of general maintenance. But as you can see with the engine out, there's nothing to them. So a couple of bolts takes it out, and basically everything in the back of this, everything's just loose and hanging where it needs to be. And yeah, so as you can see, engine's out, and a lot of bits, radiators, exhaust, fuel tank, a couple of ferns, and then that's the under tray for underneath. And it also came with a bag of bolts all labelled up as to where they went. Now, I've actually taken it to a guy that I get to do work for me, and motorbike work. He actually just recently built me a front wheel for this bike. I was having a few issues with mine, so a new Talon hub, and he built this wheel up for me. So it's only been used once now, it's been out. So you can see the old one just in the background there. So yeah, he's taken it, and I'm just getting him to take the bolt out and basically give me the engine back in one piece so that I can just put it back in. And although it looks like total carnage there, as I say, there's not very much goes on, and it's only a few different bolts and screws hold everything on. Very limited amount of tools needed. So that's going to be in the next project. And as I say, when this other bike hopefully goes later on, and then it will have paid for this one, and then likewise the car and things each time. Just going to try and at least cover my costs, or not spend anything extra, and see where we go. So just a quick introduction, and it's going to be a bit weird because the project's already underway. So we'll cut back in and have a look. It'll be a short time for you, but probably a few days for me. Okay, back on the motorcycle project. So when I left off, I was having, like I told you, was having issues with this engine. Or sorry, the last person was having issues with the engine. I purchased it like that. So the bolt on the cover here, one of these ones, have been threaded. So I left that in the local guy here who does a bit of work. Like I said, he did work from my wheels for me, so he had that done in a few hours, retapped, and he actually just built up the rest of the engine for me. So that's it, good to go back in. So today, with a limited amount of tools, because I don't have my toolbox down here, I'm going to try and put this engine back in and get it connected up. And well, there's no battery. I have an old battery off the other one, might be enough to kick it, just to get it started. So pretty much I would like to spend a couple of hours on this, hopefully get it all back in. So do a bit of a hyperlapse, getting it lifted in, and I don't know if there's going to be much filming on it, to be honest, because it's going to be pretty tight, but we'll see how we go. Okay, about 20 minutes or so of struggling, and I actually had to take the bolt. First time doing this, so I didn't know, but I had to take the swing arm off. So take the back wheel off, take the swing arm bolt out, give me access to get that mounted through. Now, made a schoolboy error, and I have left the bolts sitting with in my work. They were labelled up. My friend that took this engine out, he labelled them up as to where they came from. So I'm going to have to pause this, unfortunately. So I'm only 25 minutes, half an hour in it. The engine's in, sitting there, but obviously bolts need mounted up here and bolts mounted up there, and then start to connect things. So I'm going to have to go now and do that. So slight break for you. Bit longer for me, and we'll come straight back to it then. Okay, so bag of parts obtained. As you can see, they're all labelled up. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the bolts on this engine, and we'll start connecting up the carburetor and things, and then I'm going to have to refer to that bike probably to copy where the route to the wiring and stuff's gone. So Back into it, the clock will start again, so we're probably in there for about half an hour or so now, never mind the travelling, so let's see how we do. Okay, so it is 1:30, that's about 2 hours, 2-ish hours working, and I have the engine in, radiators in. I'm starting to do a bit of plumbing for the various mixer hoses, etc., and just to figure out now where some of these wires route through. So I've got my bike turned around, and a couple of things I'm missing. Circlip, need circlip pliers. I've only just brought sort of limited amount of tools to here, so we need to put the circlip on the wheel. I need to tighten the stud just on the corner of that paper there. I need to tighten that swing arm bolt. Again, that's something I don't seem to have a socket for. And underneath here, one of the engine bolts that goes through underneath, there's like a wee captive nut goes on the end of it, so it's missing. So it was broke up for a bit, so I'm quite surprised that it's actually only down to that. So yeah, good progress. I'm now going to spend a wee bit of time just going through the manual, lining a few things up, and then that should be it. So really a half-day job in total, including traveling about, messing about, and not having the right tools. So probably when I finish today, it'll be a case of just taking it away in the van and tightening up a few things. Again, I've got to source the battery, and that'll be it. So I'll do one final check in today, and then it should be ready to have a go and see if I can get it running. Okay, time out now. I'm going to have to go and get a couple of bolts. An engine mounting bolt is missing off the far side, and a couple of wee bolts for the clutch cylinder, and pretty much that's everything else on the bike. Exhaust, etc. Everything's there, all the plugs are there, all the wires. So I'm going to figure out about the battery here, and I'm just going to try and catch my local motorcycle guy here to see if I can get a couple of these wee bolts and bits and pieces. But yeah, 2.5-3 hours, not too bad. Yeah, get ready to get these other bits into it now, and we'll try and get it started, and then that should be it. A good wash and possibly MOT it, whether the new potential purchaser wants it MOT'd or not, road registered. So we'll see what happens with that. Right, so that's another wee part of the project, and it's this wee Fiat 500. And so this wee car I got off one of my friends. His son got a newer car, so it's quite nice. Has half leather or vinyl or leatherette or whatever it is. A wee bit of a rip in the seat. There's a few wee bits of trim things missing off the radios and stuff, which I've got. All it really needs in there now is a good clean. I've started putting polishing a few wee scratches, but in general it's a pretty clean wee car. There's a few wee marks in the wheels and things, and this side I haven't touched. You can see it's just really flat and just needs a real good machine polish. But the main issue was the front. So there was damage in the front bumper, which I'm going to show you pictures of now, and damage on this here side. So I'll let you have a wee quick look. So as you can see, it just had damage in the wing and the bumper, and then the other side was pushed in. Now, my original plan was to go ahead and get new panels for this, but I was struggling. Quite a lot of these quite popular cars, so hard to get the parts. So we just went ahead and fixed them. So as you can see, they've already been repaired, dent pulled out, the wing pulled out, and then put in the primer. So I'm literally just waiting my time in the queue here to get it in and get it painted. I'll just end up painting the whole front bumper. Still the prep up around there, and this corner here was pushed in as well, as you've seen, so it's pulled out. We'll just paint that whole front bumper and then give the whole car polish. So actually good fun to drive. I've been driving it I've done about 400 miles in it, just nipping around the place, so it's handy for parking, etc., than some of the bigger cars. So yeah, this is the third piece of the puzzle with the projects. So I'll get it into the spray booth, and then once we're starting to paint the car and polish it, then I'll video on that. But pretty much the money that I sold the dragster for paid for this car. So this so far, well, we'll go through the figures at the end, but so far we're doing okay. So triple the money on the first project got me this, and then selling this is actually twice as much. It's going to get complicated than the motorbike was, the other motorbike. So we're doing okay. We'll write it all down at the end. But anyway, back onto this this project when we're starting to paint. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that wee introduction. I'm going to break the video up a wee bit because there's 2 or 3 different things going on. So I actually did sell the dragster bike, and I've now got this project here which I'm in, which is a wee Fiat 500, and I'm actually in the process of repairing it as well. So rather than do one big long video, I'm going to put that in part 2, finish off here where I'm at. So thanks for watching for now. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. And as I say, if you're interested in videos like this, future videos of more vehicles coming up, the likes of the Z3 project, there's more work being done too. Still waiting on decision from a friend with the Escort RS Turbo. Possibly it might be something I look at and I might actually take on myself when I get rid of these 2 or 3 wee things. So I say thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and get you any new videos. You can keep up to date with what's going on with me. So thanks very much again, and I shall see you in part 2 of this. We'll discuss prices and things on what was paid and what we got for the various items. Thank you, cheers, bye.